Ezra Klein, our favorite Abunda guy. The Abunda agenda. We love the Abunda agenda. Uh, basically the wholehearted rebranding of fucking neoliberalism that motherfuckers like Ezra Klein is currently trying to attempt to do, and I would like to say that it's failing fucking miserably. Nobody's really buying the sort of like whole Abunda agenda grift. And the main thing that Ezra Klein decided to do just recently was write a rather, and I'm not going to put this lightly, fucking dog shit article within the New York Times, basically saying that hey, that fascist Charlie Kirk, man, he did such a great job at doing politics, and it's just like everyone in that fucking comment section was consistently ragging on Ezra, being like, dog, what the fuck are you saying? Like, what do you mean? Like, let's be fucking quite honest here. Ezra Klein, not Ezra Klein, but Charlie Kirk basically was the main dude who was advocating for taking away many of our fucking rights. Why the fuck are you saying that he is practicing politics all that well? Like, are you fucking crazy or something? Like, why the fuck would you ever say that? Like, why? This seems very, very strange. Because in reality, what Ezra Klein wants to do is he just wants to appeal to fucking Republicans. Like, literally. That's the whole Abunda agenda. That's what it's trying to fucking sell to people. It wants to say, hey, Republicans, please buy my fucking Substack. Please buy my fucking Substack. Which is such a fucking strange thing in particular for Ezra to do. It's just like, why the fuck would you want Republicans to buy your fucking Substack subscriptions, little bro? Like, you wholeheartedly appeal to like New York Times opinion columnists and shit like that. Why the fuck do you want to appeal so badly to fucking Republicans? Oh, it's because people like Ezra Klein will literally do anything possible to fucking snub the left. He will do everything within his power to make it such that there is no possibility for any insurgent left-leaning movement to ever take place within the United States of America. That is Ezra Klein's fucking job. It is the entirety of the Democratic Party's job to also be like that as well. So, if Ezra Klein can do anything possible to appeal to Republicans and just go after that particular audience to basically make it such that a left-wing sort of insurgent movement is never fucking catalyzed within the United States of America, then he'll gladly fucking appeal to Republicans in order to be able to do that. Like, that is Ezra Klein in a fucking goddamn nutshell. But he decided to talk with Ta-Nehisi Coates. Now, Ta-Nehisi Coates used to be a bit more of like an anti-Bernie-crat, sort of very, very Libby type. Wasn't exactly like a big fan of Ta-Nehisi Coates. But he got significantly better. You want to know why he got significantly fucking better? He went to fucking Israel and bear witness firsthand to the genocide that is being conducted by the Israelis against the Palestinians. And then he became instantly significantly more on the left. So, you know, we love growth. We love seeing that in people like Ta-Nehisi Coates. Very based, very poggers, very epic. We love to see it, folks. We love to see growth in people like Ta-Nehisi Coates, who used to be super anti-Bernie bro, and now he is a Bernie bro. You know, we're willing to forgive and forget. Not so much the Democratic Party because they fucking suck balls. And they decided to have a little bit of a chat about Charlie Kirk. Now, like I've said before, I've set the stage about this. I've already looked over the Ezra Klein opinion piece. Complete fucking dog shit. Like, trust me. Why don't we take a look and see what he fucking said?
About what President Donald Trump said at Charlie Kirk's memorial service.
What?
He did not hate his opponents. He wanted the best for them. That's where I disagreed with Charlie.
One is it's frightening to see the President of the United States talk this way about his political foes.
I hate my opponent, and I don't want the best for them. I'm sorry.
The other, I think, is it's an opportunity. I don't think that is a strong politics. And for me, one of the central questions animating the show this year, who's been animating it since the election, is how did we get here? How did we let these people get back into power? What went wrong in our approach to politics?
Easy. The Democrats believe in nothing. Okay, I'm done. Hey, New York Times, can you start paying me millions of dollars, bro, to write fucking political opinion pieces or something? Maybe not millions of dollars. Can you guys start paying me hundreds of thousands of dollars to start writing fucking opinion pieces on your vaunted sort of, I don't know, newspaper or something? Like, can I get a couple? Can I get like a couple $1,000 a fucking month, bro? Like, I mean, it's easy, dude. It's because the Democrats, fundamentally speaking, they don't believe in anything. Because the Democratic Party wants to have the exact same corporate donors as the Republican Party, fundamentally speaking. Which is why, well, people, broadly speaking, have had enough of the fucking corporate politics. They do not like corporations. They are having problems being able to fucking afford groceries, for fuck's sake. Nothing is affordable. Inflation is getting worse. The economy is getting fucking worse. More and more wealth is being concentrated in fewer and fewer hands. And that is a year-by-year problem that has been catalyzed ever since the fucking 60s. Like, listen, we'll pull up the fucking graph. Listen, this is my favorite fucking graph, okay? Wage productivity. Hey, Ezra, I wonder why people might be particularly upset with the current sort of stage of fucking politics. This is probably why, Ezra, for the past 5 fucking decades, people have been losing more and more ability to be able to even survive. Like, this is why people are fucking pissed in particular, bro. Like, this is the problem that people are fucking having. But, you know, for you instead, it's just like, well, how can I use this to appeal to fucking conservatives? Which is why I just despise people like fucking Ezra Klein.
We ended up here. This has been a conversation I've been engaged in since Charlie Kirk's murder, and I wanted to have it with somebody who has maybe not liked who I've been approaching it. Ta-Nehisi Coates is a writer I admire, somebody I have a genuine friendship with. In the days after Kirk's murder, he published a piece in Vanity Fair, pretty harshly critical of what I'd written. He compared what I was doing there to the whitewashing of the Southern cause after the Civil War.
Based. Because objectively speaking, Ta-Nehisi Coates is correct. Yeah, you are fucking whitewashing, dude. Like, that's exactly what you're doing. Like, hey, let's pull up the fucking classics. Hey, Ezra, do you not know about these fucking shits? Like, all these, great quotes here from fucking Charlie Kirk? Trust me, he's got a lot of fucking good ones. Railing against fucking DEI and black people. I wonder why Ta-Nehisi Coates in particular may have some fucking problems with that. Basically talking about how if a 9-year-old Ezra were to get fucking pregnant, that the baby should be carried to term by a 9-year-old Ezra. By a 9-year-old. I'm going to keep saying that over and over and over again, Ezra. By a fucking 9-year-old, dude. So again, like, spare me it. Like, him talking about how, oh, it's worthwhile to have some fucking gun deaths if it means you can keep the fucking Second Amendment. I wonder why people might not be a big fan of Charlie Kirk. I couldn't possibly think of anything.
I think it'd be the height of hypocrisy for me to say we need to reach across divides and disagreement and then not talk across my own. So I wanted to talk to Ta-Nehisi about a piece about the aftermath of Kirk's murder, but also about a disagreement, or question at least, that I think is about more than Kirk. I think there's something very unsettled in the sort of broad coalition of the left around the work of politics, around who we talk to and when and how. When is that work moral? When is it necessary? When is it a betrayal? As always, my email, ezrakleinshow@ematimes.com. Ta-Nehisi Coates, welcome back to the show.
Thanks. I don't know what number time this is.
I think you're one of the, if you go back to the box space, I think you're on the leaderboard for sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to see you, man.
Good to be here, so thank you.
All right, let's jump into the disagreement. You wrote a column responding to my column on Charlie Kirk.
So uncomfortable.
It's okay. What was your disagreement with what I wrote after Kirk was assassinated?
Yeah. First of all, I just want to thank you for having me. You know, I know that I've had to read things about myself that, you know, criticize my work. It's never easy, and people often have a very, very different response than the one you had, which is inviting me here and talk it out. So I appreciate that. I want to say that up front. I felt that when I initially read the column, I guess we should be fully transparent here and say there was a discussion between us privately before there was a public thing.
Yeah, we text.
Yeah, we did. We do text regularly, and we did text about this. So
Texting.
I felt like, having not done the research I eventually did for the college, there was something off about what I knew about this guy, and the presentation of him as and I don't want to misquote you here, but as basically a paragon of politics and how politics should be done. I think I had the same reaction that most ordinary people would have, which is absolute horror. The idea that this guy was somewhere speaking and was killed. But I always think it's like important to differentiate how people.
This is a great fucking start here from fucking Ta-Nehisi Coates, because this is the exact same position that I have consistently had as well when talking about Charlie Kirk. Ultimately, I do not agree with the fact that fucking Charlie Kirk got fucking assassinated. I think that is a bad thing. I am, broadly speaking, not for fucking vigilante fucking justice. Like, let's be honest here. I can understand why it comes to be, why it fucking happens. That is an important frame of analysis to have. Doesn't mean I'm a fucking fan of it. Don't really fucking like it. I ultimately do not like what happened to fucking Charlie Kirk. However, with a lot of people who decided to be overwhelmingly joyful and gleeful about the fact that people like Charlie Kirk ultimately got fucking, assassinated by Tyler Robinson, who was, and I'm going to say it again, not on the fucking left, and as far as we could tell, some apolitical, gamer bro. Hardly would talk about fucking politics. May have been bi fucking curious, may have had a fucking trans fucking girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever. None of that really fucking matters. Ultimately, what we have to talk about is how we came to this fucking position. And it's because, broadly speaking, and I think Ezra can probably himself also agree with this, a lot of people feel like there is nothing that can be done. And what do I mean by there is nothing that can be done? Generally speaking, a lot of people more and more feel incredibly nihilistic. And we can talk about this in terms of pretty much any of these more recent fucking shooters. We can talk about this with the ICE facility shooter. Again, nihilist 4chan edgelord. Probably was a fucking Sam Hyde fan. And we can even talk about some of the other fucking shootings. One of them was a 16-year-old who shot up a fucking high school and was a fucking neo-Nazi. And we can also talk about even Robin Westman, who was also a fucking nihilist. A nihilist who was indoctrinated into a far-right, satanic, neo-Nazi fucking cult. So, generally speaking, within the United States of America, and I think Ezra can fucking agree to this, there is a very, very sort of wide feeling of just listlessness, loss, utter nihilism. No one feels like they're able to, accomplish anything in their lives. Everything is more and more difficult to sort of be affordable. You can't fucking get a house. It's more and more difficult than ever in order to be able to just have a fucking living, for fuck's sake, on your fucking own. And generally speaking, people are going to get radicalized by stuff like that. And it could be fucking anything. It could be healthcare costs, and I'm referring to the more recent shooting at the Mormon church within Michigan, because I think that dude got radicalized by healthcare costs, which is why he ended up doing, a terror attack on a bunch of fucking Mormons, ultimately. A lot of people get into more extremist, radicalized ideologies because of their material conditions. And people like Ezra Klein never really address any of that stuff, which is why I go as fucking hard as I can against him. Because again, the people who would actually be fundamentally interested in actually addressing people's material conditions, that being the left, Ezra Klein criticizes and goes after them consistently. Like, he was not a big fan of fucking Bernie during 2016 or really at any point in time. Because again, for Ezra Klein, his objective is rather simple. He just wants to get conservatives in on his fucking Substack articles. That's really about it.
Die versus how they live. And then after doing the research, I gotta be honest with you, that's when it got really, really difficult. When I went past my initial impressions and started going through all the clips of the things he said, the way he talked about people, the way he described groups in ways that honestly, even as I was writing, I was uncomfortable saying. And so the idea that this guy should be in any way celebrated for how he conducted politics, the fact that he just slurred across the board, all sorts of groups of people, and then ran an organization wherein, which appeared to me just a haven of hatred. I would not want to.
Again, another great point there by Ta-Nehisi Coates, which I wholeheartedly fucking agree with. Like, you should not be giving grace to people like fucking Charlie Kirk. Like, even fucking Barack Obama, who I think Ezra Klein used to work for as a fucking staffer, he himself also said, let me be clear. Ultimately, what happened to Charlie Kirk was pretty bad. I don't agree with it. However, we can also acknowledge at the same time that saying that the civil rights movement was bad is not a good thing. And that was literally what fucking Obama said that. And he's correct. Like, I don't disagree with Barack Obama. He's just right when he fucking says that. He's correct. He's hitting the fucking nail on the head. Listen, 07 to a real one. Barack Hussein Obama. Listen, I still fucking hate you, though. I fucking hate your guts, Obama. Because part of the reason why we're even in this mess is because of you, little bro. But whatever. That's besides the fucking point. So, Ezra, you saying ostensively speaking, even though everyone on your side of the aisle is saying, like, Ezra, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Like, if Charlie Kirk ever had the opportunity to throw you in the fucking camps last after making you a fucking dutiful little prison guard, he still will fucking throw you in the camps. He doesn't give a fuck about any of this stuff. Like, he's totally okay with just making people fucking suffer. Because, again, with conservatives, the suffering is the point.
But that to be a model for my politics. And I know, as we talked between us, that, you are not attempting to make a statement for the entirety of it. But I guess I feel like at a certain point, somebody's legacy, or somebody does something that is so large, that it's tough to think about their legacy and take that out of it. And that's how I felt about it.
So I think I want to get at the right level of disagreement here. So I think one thing for me is that, I don't know, for me, the immediate hours after somebody is murdered in public, when you see that sort of grief and horror pouring out of the people who loved him, and many people loved him, my instinct then is to just sit with them in the grief, right? To say, I can, for this moment, find some way to grieve with you, to see your friend the way, or in some version of the way you saw him, right? That's not my view of, the person's whole legacy, but going to people when they're grieving like that and saying, listen, I want to tell you really what I thought of your friend. Just feels like not what you do in a kind of a community.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I think pretty much every single, like, Democratic politician, like, that did that, they all were just like, yeah, ultimately what happened to him is bad, but, like, it makes sense to fucking criticize him. Like, let's be fucking honest here. Yeah, right level of disagreement. I don't really know what exactly Ezra Klein means by that. Like, guys, apparently you need to have a certain amount of fucking disagreement with I don't know, people who ostensibly believe that the Civil Rights Act was actually kind of stinky and bad. Like, there's a correct amount of disagreement to have with someone like that. Like, I don't know about that one, Ezra. Personally, I think you should have as much possible fucking disagreement with bullshit like that.
I can see people come down on both sides of that.
I actually think that actually is a great impulse, that after somebody's been killed, and not just killed because we live in the media environment that we live in, that it's seen, and that it will live forever, and that person's family, you know what I mean?
It is being looped in front of all of
Jesus
us,
Christ.
which I think has a lot to do with how this was taken.
No, it's terrible. It's terrible. And to have to go, like, to have young kids who have to grow up knowing that that is a thing that exists in the world. You know what I mean?
And I'll go one step further on this. One thing I wrote about in that piece that I do worry about is I worry we're already in a cycle of political violence, of mimetic violence. I think about Pelosi, I think about Shapiro, I think about the New York assassination on Trump. I think about when after that happened, I thought about me, I thought about you, I thought about all kinds of people I know.
Okay, but Ezra, who did that? Who brought that? Who were the main people who helped catalyze that? Ezra, who were the main people that helped catalyze? Oh, it was conservatives. Oh, it's the conservatives who've helped catalyze this cycle of fucking current violence that exists within America, with their overly fucking inflammatory rhetoric that comes from literally the president of the United States himself. So again, like, you decided to do fucking pieces saying, like, well, I think it's kind of like icky and stinky that we're treating Charlie Kirk this way. It's like, no. Like, we can all say and all agree that fucking what ultimately happened to Charlie Kirk was kind of bad. However, I'm not going to be surprised about the fact that people are gleeful about the fact that Charlie Kirk got fucking assassinated, because he was the one who helped contribute to this fucking violence in rhetoric in politics that you're describing. Again, and this is very consistent with Ezra Klein, he will never assign any fucking moral culpability to the right. He will never assign any culpability that they might have. Because again, I've said this and I've been consistent on this. The main reason why we are even finding ourselves in the position we're in right now is because of the right wing. They are the ones who have consistently ratcheted up the fucking climate and temperature in terms of rhetoric, in terms of the arguments, in terms of the positions that people hold. The right is the main people who have made everything fucking worse. But for whatever fucking reason, Ezra Klein wholeheartedly refuses to acknowledge that.
No, right? So I do think there's just something about when violence takes hold that like, there's something about it that it begins to breach all lines.
Yeah. So I guess
that's part of my reaction to.
I think all that is understandable, but I guess, was silence not an option?
Yeah, silence to me was not grieving with people. I felt it was important as someone who is liberal, as someone who's a voice, that there are moments like that. Like, I really do feel, and it's funny because you said something like this in your piece, but it's a little bit more offhanded, that political violence like that is an attack on us all.
Right.
And that in that moment it creates, for me, even if it's very temporary, that it's important in a moment like that.
Oh, you're 1000% correct there, Boy Means Spinning. Yeah, I mean, this is done on purpose by the fucking right. Like, this is the strategy. This is the position. This is what they do. Because again, and I've said this consistently before, but Ezra Klein never really likes to fucking acknowledging this particular point. Conservatives, the reason why they are always okay with fucking being incredibly violent against their fucking political opponents, or who they perceive as their political opponents, because their whole overall shtick is about dominion over others. They just want to be the ones on top in the fucking hierarchy, in the system of fucking control. That's the point.
Sort of, come together to try to see other people in their grief, to try to cool things down just a little bit. I guess, given everything you read.
I mean, So why browbeat the left about this and not talk about the right, Ezra? If you actually are interested in trying to bring back down the fucking temperature, okay, so then you should be talking vociferously about the president of the fucking United States of America, who is currently being the main one that is currently ratcheting up the fucking temperature, trying to go after Antifa as a fucking domestic terrorist organization, for fuck's sake, dude. Again, I'm going to say this, I think, consistently, I think, throughout this whole, I don't know, ordeal. Ezra, the main people that you should be fucking criticizing then are the conservatives.
Read that Charlie Kirk said, and we probably don't have very different views on the things he said. Why do you think he was winning?
I mean, that's not really hard for me to understand. I mean, if I could just back up for a second, I want to say two things. I published a book 10 years ago, Between the World and Me. And one of the constant reactions to that was that he was overly pessimistic about this country. He was overly pessimistic about the future. Why are you so dark, Ta-Nehisi? Why can't you give us any sense of hope? And the reason I would always say is because any sort of sober examination of the history of this country says that those of us who believe in equality, those of us who believe in respecting the humanity of our neighbors and of, everyone, that we're up against some really, really powerful forces of history and powerful narratives. And the implication of that is, however good we felt in 2013, 14, 15, 2008, there will be backlash. People, those of us who were crying in 2008 watching Obama, give that speech, those of us who were so moved by watching him step outside the car and felt so much fear for him, and then when nothing happened, felt so great about that. Those of us who believe that seeing a black family in the White House mirroring what, some of us felt the best of us was the best that we had to offer, there are other people watching that too. You know what I mean? And I don't take any joy in saying this, but we sometimes soothe ourselves by...
I like this point that Ta-Nehisi's bring up in particular. Yeah, because, again, there was always going to be a fucking conservative backlash. And it's a little, part of the conservative backlash this time around, because it's different, comes, I think, stems quite significantly from shit like Transgate, right? The whole fucking Dylan Mulvaney, complete schizophrenic screed that the Republican Party had when basically going after people like fucking Dylan Mulvaney. Honestly, I think that plays such a huge fucking role in particular for the backlash that we saw, well, in part in 2024. I'll be quite fucking honest. And also, I'm not gonna fucking let the Democrats off the hook on this one in particular. The Democrats also have a lot of fucking responsibility that they should be fucking claiming for the fact that everything has gone fucking way, way worse because of their failures of addressing the material conditions on the fucking ground, because seemingly they were never fucking interested in doing any of that shit. Especially with motherfuckers like Kirsten Sinema and Joe fucking Manchin. As much as I don't like him, this is something Cornel West spoke to. Black faces in high places isn't change. 1000 fucking % Boy Meets Mini. I'm not sure if the whole sort of black capitalism quote unquote sort of thing. I don't know about how much that really applies to people like Ta-Nehisi Coates. I'll be quite honest. I don't think he's I don't think he's gonna be a fucking trailblazing fucking communist or whatever. I don't think he's being particularly inaccurate in terms of his main overall criticisms that he's having on people like fucking Charlie Kirk. Because his prescriptions so far here are correct. People like Charlie Kirk, you should not be fucking mourning him. He is one of the main fucking reasons why we currently find ourselves in the position we have ourselves in right now. He's not wrong when he makes an assessment like that. He's he's completely and utterly fucking correct when he says that. But again, with people like fucking Ezra Klein, his main shtick is that he just wants to fucking appeal to Republicans to have them fucking subscribe to his fucking Substack. Because again, for Ezra Klein, it's all about getting those fucking dollar bills, y'all.
Pointing out that love, acceptance, warmth, that these are powerful forces. I believe they are. I also believe hate is a powerful force. I believe it's a powerful unifying force. And I think Charlie Kirk was a hate monger. I really need to say this over and over again. I have a politic that rejects violence, that rejects political violence. I take no joy in the killing of anyone, no matter what they said. But if you ask me what the truth of his life was, the truth of his public life, I would have to tell you it's hate. I had to tell you it is the usage of hate and the harnessing of hate towards political ends.
Then let me flip that question actually a bit. Why are we losing?
We're losing because there are always moments when we lose.
See, that feels very fatalistic to me.
It doesn't feel fatalistic to me. It feels like the truth. Let me express what I mean.
I don't know if I 100% agree. I mean, I don't 100% disagree with Ta-Nehisi Coates. I think the main reason why the Democrats fucking lost, I don't 100% agree with this fucking answer. I'll be quite honest. I don't like this answer in particular either. I think the main reason is simply due to the fact that, again, material conditions have just not been addressed on the ground for the past fucking 50 years. Let's be fucking quite honest here, right? Like, I'll be quite honest, Boy Meets Vinny. I think both of their answers are just not particularly great here in particular. I think, again, the main sort of problem is the fact that, generally speaking, and I think like anyone can fucking agree with this, is the Democrats wholeheartedly failed to address material conditions that are currently on the fucking ground, right? Like, the affordability crisis was going up and up and up, and it was becoming fucking worse and worse and worse. Now, we can attribute that to the sort of global wide sort of inflation that's happened, and I would agree with that there. I would agree with you there. But I think it's also because of a lot of the failures of stuff like Build Back Better, allowing fucking people like Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema be able to have their fucking goddamn opinions, when in reality, dumbasses like them should have been shot down and shut down, because, again, motherfuckers like that only had the interests of fucking corporations and their stupid like corporate masters in fucking mind when they were deciding to go against shit within the IRA or fucking Build Back Better. Because, again, I will say this, and I'll be honest, because I think I am being honest here, there were a lot of provisions and a lot of stuff that Joe Biden did that was pretty solid and pretty decent, right? A lot of the antitrust stuff is good. A lot of the sort of like burgeons and emergence of a burgeoning of a new United States labor movement was helped catalyze by Joe Biden. Okay, no cap. We're not gonna fucking meme here. That if you don't fucking think that, you are being dishonest, okay? And to all the fucking dipshit lefties, okay? We're gonna fucking dispel this immediately. Who will say like, well, Joe Biden was the main guy who took down the fucking railroad workers' protests and strike during the midterm. Yeah, the reason why Joe Biden did that in particular should be fairly fucking obvious. He had an election that was coming, on hand relatively soon. The midterms are basically right around the fucking corner, and he, along with AOC and I think Rashida Tlaib, negotiated along with members of the fucking squad with the union, saying like, okay, so here's what we want to say. What we want to basically say is just don't do the strike, okay? We're going to keep negotiating with the railroad companies, which is exactly what happened. Joe Biden was negotiating with the railroad companies in order to get more vacation days and more, basically the demands of the fucking union. And them, along with AOC, Joe Biden in this particular instance, went back to the railroad unions, or not the unions, but to the railroad companies, and started negotiating with them again, and got every single demand that the union was fucking asking for. Which, again, like, at some point you just have to be like, dog, like, the union themselves even said that Joe Biden got them exactly what they fucking wanted. So, I mean, we can, like, bitch, moan, and complain and quibble about, like, well, I mean, it's not really fucking enough for anything. Like, it's like, I'm sorry, like, we can't have a fucking communist utopia. Like, I would like that as well, but that's not realistic right now. Like, that's not gonna fucking happen in our generation, your generation, and anyone's fucking generation for at least a couple, like, maybe a century or two. That's not gonna fucking happen. Like, not right now, at least. But to be dishonest and say that, oh, Joe Biden basically completely snubbed the railroad union strike is fucking dishonest. Like, it is inaccurate to say that, okay? And I will, push back against all of that shit consistently. Yeah, Comrade Biden. But again, like, you can look up articles about this. The railroad union workers and the union representatives said, like, oh yeah, they got exactly what they fucking, like, what we fucking wanted in the end. So yeah, it worked out for us. Like, and that's just a fact.
I'm trying to go, I'm the writer, I'm an individual, right? But I am part of something larger. And I've always felt myself as part of something larger. I have a tradition. I have ancestry. I have heritage. What that means is that I do whatever I do within the time that I have in my life, whatever time I'm gifted with. And much of what I do is built on what other people did before then. And then after that, I leave the struggle where I leave it. And then hopefully it's in a better place. Oftentimes it's not. That's the history, in fact. And then my progeny pick it up and they keep it going. I am descended from people who in their lifetime fought with all their might for the destruction of chattel slavery in this country. And they never saw it. They never saw it. In my personal belief system, they died in defeat and in darkness. And so I guess the privilege that I draw out of this, the honor that I draw out of this, is not that things will necessarily be better in my lifetime, but that I will make the contribution that I am supposed to make.
I feel like that's pretty much that's like literally the exact same fucking thing that I said. Like, to be quite honest, right? Like, it is about the contributions that you overall make during your fucking lifetime. And what did Charlie Kirk help contribute during his fucking lifetime? Oh, nothing but fucking racism, xenophobia, transphobia, queerphobia, like, you know, yeah, we'll do all the fucking I don't know, queer phobia, like phobia fucking identifiers, because Charlie Kirk had a hand in all of that.
The fact of the matter is, as horrifying as that the killing of Charlie Kirk was, and as horrifying as the feeling is, this moment that we are in, an era of political violence. And I don't want to sound flip here. Political violence is the norm for Black experience in this country. It just is. I don't even mean like the Malcolm X, Martin Luther King variety of it, right? Which is the norm too. You would be hard pressed to have a conversation with a Black person in this country that is a descendant of slavery,
terrorism,
and not have them be able to reach maybe right here or to tell you themselves, look, my uncle, my grandfather, my great grandfather, they lived in a small town in Mississippi, in Tennessee, in Alabama. They got into some sort of dispute with a white man, and either they were lynched or we had to run. Political violence runs through us. It is our heritage. Is that good? No. Do we valorize it? Absolutely not. Do we minimize it? Absolutely not. But a life free of it is not a thing that's really in reach in my time.
That's just not. That's
Sometimes I think that having a historical scope.
That's a really fucking good point, by the way. Like, seemingly, like, Ezra Klein wants to, like, forget about the fact that what even allowed America to become a country to begin with? The American Revolution, Ezra. Like, so I don't know. I find it very strange in particular that Ezra, for some fucking reason, is just wholeheartedly unwilling to acknowledge that political violence is pretty much the fucking norm in the United States of America. Like, why does he not want to fucking acknowledge that whatsoever constantly? Like, political violence is the name of the game for fucking America. Like, let's keep it $1.50, right? Like, ever since the fucking settlers came off of the fucking Mayflower, violence has been the norm in America. Like, let's not be fucking let's not fucking meme here. Like, it's just an objective fact.
That wide can make the present too deterministic. So to me, I look at the last, 8, 12 years. And what I see having happened is we, the coalition I am in, the things I believe in, lost ground. And people determinedly worked to make that so. Charlie Kirk worked to make that so successfully, right? I think that when he began going to college campuses and putting out a sign at a table, what he was eventually going to build was not obvious, right? I think he worked. I think he was a successful political actor.
Yeah, successful political actor by dishonestly debating like a bunch of fucking college students, and even in the fucking clips where he gets blown the fuck out, because very often he gets blown the fuck out in those debates against those fucking college students. Oh, he will deceptively and dishonestly fucking edit those clips in order to make himself not look like fucking complete shit in those clips, Ezra. Like, come on, bro.
And I think that from when in 2016 we lost to Donald Trump the first time, very narrowly.
You're right, Alex.
And then in 2020 we almost lost to him. I began seeing we were losing a bunch of voters we thought we were fighting for, right? Losing more working class voters.
Joe Biden, I think, won. What was the election results of 2020? Joe Biden, I think, had gotten the most fucking votes ever in American history. Election results 2020. Like, what do you mean? Narrowly lost? This is narrowly lost, Joe? Ezra Klein? Narrowly lost. He beat Trump by about 7 million voters. That's not a narrow loss. That's a pretty resounding fucking victory. But then again, unfortunately, the United States of America lives in, like, I don't know, like an incredibly fucking backwards, like, electoral system where even if you win by, like, 7 million fucking goddamn votes, it's kind of a close victory, guys. You know, it was a good bout. It was a good show between both candidates or something, and it's just like, no, this is pretty resounding. Joe Biden won by about 5 points. Like, I don't think that was really close at all in particular, Ezra. Like, I don't think that's really honest to say.
Voters losing on white voters.
No, he said 2020. Like, we can play it back. He said 2016 initially, right? And that election was also close. And then he said 2020. Like, we can listen to it again, Alex.
From when in 2016 we lost to Donald Trump the first time, very narrowly, won the popular vote, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then in 2020 we almost lost to him. I began seeing we were losing a bunch of voters we thought we were.
Yeah, we almost lost to him. This is not almost. This is a pretty resounding victory.
Fighting for, right? Losing more working class voters, losing on white voters, right? Something was changing, but we won, so okay. And then in 2024, we really got our asses handed to us. And we let a much more dangerous form of politics fully erupt. And I think that reflects strategic decisions they made. I think it reflects decisions we made. So I think for me, it's not enough to say we lost, there are backlashes, sometimes you lose. I think it requires like a very fundamental rethinking, like a disciplined strategic rethinking of what have we been doing? Why are people preferring this to us? And I do think that is like, it opens up into something more.
Okay, I mean, I've already explained this, right? But I'll fucking say it again. Because the Democratic Party doesn't believe in anything. They believe in nothing. Like, I even talked about this before with Kamala Harris. Like, when she leaked in her fucking goddamn book that one of the main fucking reasons why she was having so much trouble was because of the fact that Joe Biden wanted to just make it seem like he's not getting shown up by the fucking more liberal fucking upstart within the fucking party. He decided to just, I don't know, have a complete fucking screed and fucking conniption about it. Like when I consistently say that Joe Biden is probably one of the biggest problems, and he will not be fucking remembered fondly throughout fucking history. Like, it's because of shit like this. Like, it's really, really fucking stupid. Yeah, Ezra Klein thinks 2016 Trump is different than 2025 Trump. 1000%. Like, I guess, like, I don't know if I 100% agree with that, Alex. He is different in the sense that he's gotten way more fucking brazen. Like, significantly more fucking brazen. I think that's an accurate assessment of Trump in particular. Like, in terms of the sort of, like, oafish buffoonery, in the sycophancy that's around him, in comparison to now, to 2016, I think it's night and fucking day, to be honest.
I think that there's a practice of politics here that in a narrow sense I was talking about Kirk, but in a broad sense reflects to something that I thought was going to be an argument stretching across the show for like a year, right? I think more of it came out in this than I'd intended probably. But I think in many ways we've stopped doing politics. We've written a lot of people off. And in writing them off, we are losing and we are unable to protect ourselves, unable to protect them.
Yeah, but Ezra, the thing is it makes perfect sense to me why people are writing off fucking conservatives because, again, have you talked with a fucking conservative? Have you ever talked with any of these people? They are insane. They do not believe in objective reality, Ezra. So it makes sense why people are just like, dude, I can't fucking take this shit anymore. Like, fuck you. I've had enough. Like fuck off. In the 10 years that Trump has been basically prevalent within politics, he has basically fomented some of the largest protest movements in the United States' history. He has fomented a whole ton of those and has also orchestrated a lot of historical events for a lot of fucking bad reasons. And people, broadly speaking, and I think this is pretty safe to say, Boy Meets Mini, Alex, you can fucking attest to this, are just sick and fucking tired of Donald fucking Trump. They just don't want to look at him anymore. They don't want to fucking see him anymore. They don't want to deal with him anymore. People have had enough. They can't fucking take it anymore. They just want this corrupt fucking oligarchic stooge to just fuck off and retire permanently. Nobody wants to fucking deal with this stupid tomfoolery anymore. People have had enough. And you're just saying that, like, people who prescribe to a movement, a cult ostensibly, that just does not believe in fucking objective reality because you think some of their, I don't know, patron saints, practice politics in what you believe is the right way, and that is to basically advocate for the murder and fucking violence against, ostensibly a lot of their community members and friends of theirs within minority populations. I think it makes a lot of fucking sense why people are not going to be particularly happy within your side of the fucking coalition, I suppose, for lack of a better term, Ezra. Why they might not be particularly happy about the piece that you wrote about Charlie Kirk. Because it's just like, it's seeming like, Ezra, why are you not fucking talking about a lot of the stuff that Charlie Kirk said? He said a lot of really, really bad shit. Again, we can pull up the fucking collection of quotes. Again, America has freedom of religion, but we should be frank. Large dedicated Islamic areas are a threat to America, being inherently Islamophobic. He said this in fucking April. The shit about the 9-year-old fucking pregnancy. The girl who should fucking have the fucking pregnancy. This was said, like, quite literally about a year ago. About a year ago. That's not that long ago, Ezra. And it's fairly obvious that Charlie Kirk, if you've been as terminally online as I have been, has only gotten significantly more radical in response to who? Nick Fuentes and the fucking Groypers. Nick Fuentes and Groypers have had a significant role to play in the sort of further radicalization that Charlie Kirk has had as a more Christian fundamentalist sort of content creator, I suppose, for lack of a better term. Fuentes would go with his, well, you know, his little freaks called the Groypers, would go consistently with his boys in order to show up at Turning Points events, and would just kind of show up there. You know, just show up there, yell, be annoying, talk a bunch of shit, and, well, the point of it being fairly obvious. He wanted to basically be more threatening in order to try to get at Charlie Kirk's audience more and more. Because, again, for people like Nick Fuentes, the only thing he fundamentally cares about as a LARPy fucking cosmopolitan closeted homosexual is he just wants to do everything possible to make as much money as possible and then fuck off and live his cosmopolitan, extremely gay, degenerate lifestyle he consistently fucking dreams about. You know, for as much as Nick Fuentes likes to pretend to be against fucking degeneracy. Like, it's just one of those situations where it's just like, yeah, Fuentes just wants to do everything possible to, gain as big of an audience as possible in order to be able to just retire as quickly as possible and just fucking fuck off and, I don't know, go with, like, the Catboy Nazi in order to take dildos up the ass or some shit. Like, I don't fucking know. Like, you do you, boo. Nick Fuentes, listen, you wanna have your fucking weird Catboy Nazi dragon dildo fetishes and shit like that? I don't know. More power to you there, bud. Like, that's the fucking problem, generally speaking, when people bring this up to you, Ezra.
Unable to make good change in the world.
Can you say more about that writing them off, please?
Yeah, why don't we start it here if we want to talk about writing off? I've been obsessing recently for a piece I've been writing about the Hillary Clinton deplorables comment, and I want to play it.
You know, to just be grossly generalistic, you can put half of Trump supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables.
Listen, as much as I hate Hillary Clinton, she was spitting when she said this. She was spitting. The problem with this is that she said it too early. Trump was too much of an unknown. Way too much of a fucking goddamn unknown. Like, people did not know how bad it could really have gotten. But hey, with 10 years right now of Trump being in fucking politics, Hillary Clinton was correct when she said this. She was 1000% accurate. The problem is that it's fucking Hillary Clinton saying this shit.
All right?
He's like Tommy Robinson. Dude was vacationing in Cyprus right after inciting England's race riots. I'm telling you, with all these fucking fascists, constantly, they don't have the balls in order to be able to fully commit. Liberal fucking fascism. None of these people are way too big of pussies in order to wholeheartedly commit 1000 fucking % all the fucking way, because they know in their heart of hearts, and historically speaking, if they've done any studying into any of this stuff, that very often their own lives have to be put at risk. That very, very often they have to just co-sign themselves to death. Because, again, they value their lives way too much. This is the exact same point that Vosh consistently brings up, and I wholeheartedly agree with him on this point. I think he's 100% accurate when he says this. That a lot of these fucking far-righters and neo-Nazis and fucking fascists are way too big of fucking pussies in order to put their fucking balls on the court, right? They don't give a fuck. Like, they value their own lives way too much. Whereas people with, like, Benito Mussolini and fucking Hitler were wholeheartedly totally okay with being arrested in order to be able to get the fucking political aims that they were trying to achieve. That, and of course, in the case of, like, Hitler, there was a partial judiciary to him in particular, whereas conservatives nowadays really do not have that under their sort of belts. Like, let's be honest here, the courts are not partial to fucking Nazis and conservatives, and think of them generally as, like, fucking oafish buffoons who could give less of a fuck about being stewards of the laws that they supposedly fucking care about. But hey, you know, this is the kind of, like, position that we find ourselves in. Oh, 1000% there, Boy Meets Mini. Yeah, they, like, Huntuva nationalists, I think I wholeheartedly agree, are willing to co-sign themselves to death in order to be able to sort of obtain the sort of political objectives and aims that they want, and that is, well, a Hindu ethno-state.
Sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, you name it. And unfortunately, there are people like that. And he has lifted them up. He has given voice to their websites that used to only have 11,000 people. Now have 11 million. He tweets and retweets their offensive, hateful, mean-spirited rhetoric. Now some of those folks, they are irredeemable. Thankfully, they are not American.
What do you think when you hear that?
She probably shouldn't have said it.
Do you think it's true?
I mean, it's probably not how I would say it, but you know, I mean, the things that I would say. You know, I probably would say what I said earlier, you know, in the interview about the forces.
She's correct. I'll commit. Yeah, she's correct when she says this. No, she's just right. It is accurate that she's saying this. Hillary Clinton is right when she says that these people are fucking deplorables. Because they are. They are fucking deplorables. They are miserable fucking wretches, conservatives. Like, you can't have any rapport with these people. It is impossible to have rapport with these people. You can't. It's just, fundamentally speaking, it is impossible. You can't. It is, whoa. Daho, why are you being so callous and cruel with fucking conservatives? Like, dog, they literally tried to orchestrate a fucking goddamn coup against the United States of America and tried to basically, consistently just tried to fucking murder who they perceive as their political opponents. Like, you can't find rapport with these people. They do not believe in reality. Like, you can't. It is impossible.
And I mean, as I've been saying this since as long as we've been talking,
Yeah.
you know, but I just want to be clear about something. I shouldn't be running for president of the United States. You know what I mean? And my expectations for the rhetoric of writers, intellectuals, journalists, etc., is very, very different than what the expectation should be for people who you know, expect to hold office.
Yeah, so this I agree with, right? I think that there are different jobs in all this. But when I say we began writing people off, I think that something that happened, and I think something I saw in this debate, but kind of like underneath it, was that the work of politics of bridging over a lot of profound, fundamental moral disagreements, I think became somewhat diminished, began to seem like in many cases a betrayal to people. The tent shrunk. The people I feel more comfortable with wielding power shrunk. And I think what Clinton was saying, that came from somewhere. It came from, you know, the sort of culture that had emerged. It got worse over time. And I think it really contributed to us losing. And meanwhile, this is why when I say, like in that initial piece, there was something that I respected in what Kirk was doing, like going in, having debates, using them opportunistically. A lot of people throw back at me that, oh, he wasn't debating to find truth. Of course he wasn't debating to find the truth. He was doing politics. He was trying to persuade people.
But yes, but Ezra, he's also like that. The problem is that in your fucking piece, you didn't fucking put it that way. You were basically fucking fanboying out and not being, like, not mentioning about the fact that Charlie Kirk was being fucking dishonest. That's the fucking problem, Ezra.
Well, and I've watched on our side not opportunistic engagement, but a lot of, I would say, counterproductive disengagement.
Would you like to see?
Like, again, like, what do you mean counterproductive disengagement? What the fuck are you talking about, dude? Are we fucking for real, dude? Like, we're gonna talk about being counterproductive with fucking conservatives? Again, this is fucking insanity. These people are wholeheartedly do not believe in reality, Ezra. Like, we're gonna talk about like the left being unwilling to fucking engage with people who just don't agree with reality as a concept. This is the problem of the left. Like, this is fucking insane, dude.
One of us put up a sign outside of, say, some white evangelical church in Alabama, debate me on abortion, and then use that content to say such and such smashes, you know what I mean, church parishioner here, such and such owns church
I would
parishioner.
like to see, I would like to see people on our side. Yeah, go to evangelical churches, go to places where that feel unfriendly, have conversations, and look, I put things up on YouTube, they're fairly...
Yes, but fucking Charlie Kirk was not going there to have fucking conversations like you yourself ever said. He has never been fucking interested in having conversations or talking with people. He deceptively edits. He lies about fucking everything. He is not an honest fucking actor. So the fact that you are deciding to be like, oh yeah, he is incredibly honest. I actually like the way that people like Charlie Kirk is engaging with fucking politics. Is the main problem that people are having with you, Ezra, when you bring up these fucking particular points, Ezra.
Successful, not the best of the business, and I don't use...
Yeah, liberal Charlie Kirk is not gonna fucking work with the left. Like, people are not gonna be fucking interested in any of that bullshit. You're 1000% correct there, Boyman Spinney.
No capital letters destroys in them. I think you can do it more aligned to hopefully our value structure, our political approach, our political aesthetic, at least the one that I believe in. I shouldn't overuse the term our here. But we weren't doing that either.
I don't know we weren't. I know, for instance, I have. Like, I know, for instance, I don't know if it's on YouTube anymore, but I received an invitation, for instance, I think about when I went up to West Point, and I had to go there and talk about Between the World and Me. I had to challenge them very, very directly about what it meant to have, at that time, Confederate memorials up there, and to, talk about, a Confederate, I can't remember, what the motto is exactly, but basically the argument against lying, and what it meant, to have that there and have those grand historical lies. I mean, we had a really, really great interaction. I don't know it. I know everybody didn't agree with me. It would never occur to me, and I think it actually insults the dialogue to take that and say, Ta-Nehisi owns West Point cadets.
You really not recognize the kind of culture I'm talking about here? Like, really? You think
say more. No, I mean, what do you mean?
I think there really was.
I think, like, yeah, I think I agree with what Ta-Nehisi Coates is saying here. I think Because again, like you can't fucking engage with these people, honestly. Like, there is no point in having engagement with these people. Like, you can't. You can't fucking engage with any of these motherfuckers. Like, that's the fucking problem, Ezra. Like, that people are having, Ezra. That's why people do not agree with what you were saying, my dude. Like, people, fundamentally speaking, just did not fucking believe in or want to have engagement with people who do not believe in reality. Because again, I'm going to keep reiterating this point over and over and over again. Conservatives do not believe in reality. Like, they don't. Wholeheartedly, they fucking disagree with that. And they believe in a political project that is anti-reality. And I don't know, most liberals, from what I know, tend to believe in reality. And reality tends to skew liberal, which means you just can't find rapport with people like fucking conservatives. They should be fucking actively shunned then.
A move towards the sort of approach Clifton is offering here. I think we began to pull back. I really do.
But maybe
and I would define the right? Because I think this is a very hard thing about talking about political parties, because they're diffuse, right? It's a lot of people doing a lot of things all at once. But I think of the huge backlash to Bernie Sanders for going on Joe Rogan's show, because Rogan was transphobic, right? Such a big backlash when I defended him.
Oh, that's a great point there, Boy Meets Minnie. Yeah, we literally just had a fucking conservative dipshit come into chat, like, not that long ago, like, and just not believe in fucking reality. Like, you can't, like I said before, you can't fucking have debates or conversations with people who just don't think that reality is what it is. Like, just do not believe in the fucking concepts of reality. You can't. Like, it's impossible. You just can't fucking do it.
I became myself a Twitter trending topic.
Right.
To Elizabeth Warren for going on Bill Maher's show. Bill Maher's Islamophobic.
Right.
There were protests at Netflix when they brought on Dave Chappelle. Right. I think there was a politics of content moderation that took hold. That was more about enforcing boundaries of what were and were not ideas we should be engaged with, than about engaging with them again, even if opportunistically. And when I go back to something I was saying a minute ago, I am in a process right now thinking we failed. Right. We lost. The loss is having terrible consequences. What do we need to rethink? How do we become competitive again in places where we're not? And I think there is something in here.
Why are we fucking blaming fucking content moderation for this? Like, just having a fucking laissez-faire sort of like no holds bar. Like, I mean, because we're already living in the consequences of that, Ezra. Like, fucking Twitter is a fucking right-wing infested shithole. Facebook is an even more right-wing fucking infested shithole than it normally fucking was. It's even worse on that fucking platform. So, again, like, the problem isn't with fucking content moderation. Like, that's fucking complete nonsense. The main issue is that we are dealing with a political side and a political project who fundamentally does not agree with reality. They will lie about as much as they breathe. They don't believe in anything they espouse to pretend to fucking truly believe in. These people are liars. They are charlatans. And they should, ostensively speaking, not be believed for even a fucking moment. And you're asking people, Ezra, seemingly to just, maybe we should give them a chance. Maybe, just maybe, there's a chance out there that all this, like, smoke and mirrors and a complete, utter fucking goddamn bullshit is, what they're saying is fucking accurate. And yeah, I do agree with that, Boy Meets Minnie. Yeah, moderation is definitely a fucking band-aid. 1000%. I don't disagree with that. The thing is, in particular, and as to, I guess, like, why it's a fucking goddamn band-aid, is simply due to the fact that, and I've said this before, and I will reiterate this point, I think, constantly, the Democrats and neoliberal fucking politics is a failure. It's over. It is done. Nobody wants fucking neoliberalism anymore. Everyone, it's been done. It's been tried. It is over. It is a political project that has failed, and people have had enough. And I think that's the main fucking crux of the issue. But then again, for people like Ezra, he doesn't actually give a fuck about any of that stuff, because for him, it's all about doing everything possible to appeal to conservatives to get as many fucking Substack bucks as possible.
Here. Do people feel like, even if they disagree with us on some things, that they have a place with us? And my experience going around the country talking to people, I've been on a lot of, right of center podcasts lately, is that, rightly or wrongly, like, what they took and something that really empowered Trump in the last election was a sense that they didn't. And, like, we were against them, and so they were going to be against us. And I think that's, in the end, doing politics badly.
So I think two things. I think about how much you argued that, like, Biden shouldn't run again. What if he doesn't earlier, and you have a Democrat who wins the presidency? Like, the other big explainers that I can see for it, you know what I mean? They don't feel so diffuse. The other thing is, I know you don't want to talk historically, but, when you say fatalism, Like I take that to mean that what's the point of fighting? But I think that misapprehends the philosophy here. You don't. It's not that you know what's going to happen. It's not that you know Donald Trump is going. It's that you don't underestimate what you are up against. It's actually kind of the opposite. I mean, man, you yourself wrote these articles about how high the level of racial resentment was. That this country, or some segment of it, was so, as the term was used at the time, racially resentful. I call it racist, but they flooded down to Barack Obama's dog Bo. Mm-hmm. That's not a small amount of power. Like that's not a small force. And so just really quickly getting back to Charlie Kirk, like I would watch those clips of him saying those things, man, and I would see how people would cheer and get charged by it. People get activated by hate. It's a very, very, very strong force. And so I don't think it requires you to feel that you will eventually lose. On the contrary, I think it requires you to feel that even if you do lose, you have this kind of steadfastness. You know what I mean?
Again, like I don't disagree with what Ta-Nehisi Coates is saying here, but I don't think it's the full fucking picture. Like I don't think so. Like he's not wrong. Like I don't think he's wrong whatsoever. I think it is a big part of the problem. The bigger issue, I think, truly is the fact that the Democrats just wholeheartedly failed to ever address anyone's fucking material conditions. Because they were wholeheartedly uninterested in addressing people's fucking material conditions. Still taking a lot of the exact same fucking corporate cash and money as the fucking Republican Party. And the Republicans, seeing that, using that to their advantage in order to, well, dishonestly push their fucking own agenda, which is much worse and way more fucking charged by corporations, but, you know, whatever. I'm not expecting the intelligence of fucking Trump supporters to shine through in particular. Okay, these people are very stupid and very, very easy to fucking propagandize, okay? Like, I'm not gonna fucking sugarcoat it, okay? These people are fucking idiots. To just inherently just hand wave it all away and just be like, well, you know, it's definitely just one of the biggest problems here is all about just the fact that, you know, liberals are just not wholeheartedly willing to fucking engage with people and stuff like that. But I say this again. Why should you engage with the rantings and ravings of a fucking madman and his collection of fucking weirdos? Like, why should people have to engage with that? Ezra, do you know what these people fucking consistently debate about? The main things that conservatives debate about is talking about the validity of fucking human rights. Like, do you really want to fucking blame people if they are wholeheartedly uninterested in sort of wanting to debate their human fucking rights? Personally, I don't like. I find it perfectly reasonable that people just do not fundamentally want in any fucking circumstance want to debate the validity of their fucking human rights. But you seem to be totally fucking okay with debating all of that stuff and throwing doubt into the wind there. Like, you seem to not have a fucking problem with that at all. That's a little interesting there, Ezra.
To keep going.
In today's super competitive business environment, the edge goes to those who push.
Fucking T-Mobile, get the fuck out of here, bro.
This is a great point. I think I really saw it. It's more in Trump's first term, but I see it now too. Which is the worse, from your perspective, my perspective, the other side gets, the more people want their reaction to sort of be, and their strategy to be emotionally constant with how they're feeling about it. Because these people are so bad, there can be no corner, right? I had somebody we both know, I'll say, and I'm an academic of one form or another, email me after these pieces and just say to me like, we are not on the same side anymore, right? What I was doing was too far, right? Like we are just not on the same side, if I can say these things. I have a feeling right now that we are closer to genuine national rupture, certainly in my lifetime, right? The idea of this experiment that America could topple into something else, into something much worse, into some kind of new extended regime, feels very real to me, right? I remember when I was on the Why We're Polarized book tour.
I interviewed you for it.
I mean, God, this is like a consistent pattern of behavior with people like Ezra. Just absolutely zero fucking culpability and just zero, like basically just never talking about the contributions that conservatives have had to the current fucking political climate. Because again, I'm going to keep, like, this is a point that I'm going to keep reiterating over and over and over again. The main people who contributed to this climate, Ezra, that you have a problem with, which is, okay, I'll give you that. It is correct to have a problem with this current political climate. Okay, thank you very much, Ezra Klein. Is conservatives. They're the ones who have fucking brought it to this position. They're the ones who have brought it to this fucking point. And you're expecting people of, I don't know, marginalized fucking backgrounds of different, like, minorities to be the main people who have to fucking consistently fight for all the rights that they have bled and fucking died for in order to be able to just scrape back even the slight modicum of, rights that have been won from people fighting and bleeding and dying for them. Like, spare it. It's like, it's one of those things where it's like, fucking spare me it. Like, I'm not like expecting people to be able to fucking do that. Like, I'm expecting for people to understand the sort of like plight that a lot of other like marginalized people have to fucking go through. And it's just like, dog, like, it's so obvious and clear the problems with this side that we're going up against. They don't believe in reality. They do not believe in rights. They do not believe in the Constitution. They don't believe in any of this fucking stuff. And they are willing to just do coups, overthrow the fucking government, like a fucking January 6th, Ezra. Like, that wasn't that fucking long ago, okay? That's still entirely fucking possible because, again, currently there is a stooge in fucking power who is wholeheartedly willing to just wield any annals of fucking power in order to get what he fucking wants. And that is, well, let's be quite honest here, a fucking white ethno-state at this point. Like, I'm not gonna fucking pussyfoot around, and I'm not gonna use like hyperbolic fucking language. Like, what Trump, his current fucking political project is right now, is just white fucking nationalism. So, like, I'm not gonna fucking blame people of marginalized fucking backgrounds for being like, dog, fuck this shit. Like, I don't want to fucking deal with these motherfuckers anymore. Like, they're not honest. They don't fucking believe in anything. Like, you can't treat these people honestly. Like, fuck these motherfuckers. I hate them. I fucking hate them. And it's just like, spare me it, dude. Because, again, this is the environment that not only Trump, the Republican Party, has fucking built, and also a lot of the fucking pundits and Fox News has helped to fucking build, Ezra. So that is the fucking problem.
End of that book is its recitation of what happened in the 1960s, the political assassinations, the violence in the streets, like what the state was doing, what was happening. But on book, what I would say is my nightmare scenario is that level of violence and fracture with these kinds of parties, where politics is not for all of its flaws, a calming force, because like the views are diffuse across the two parties, but an accelerant. I think we're much more now in the wild string. Okay, so that's, I think it should make you think.
Bro, like, fuck out of here with this bullshit. Politics has, within the United States of America, has never been a fucking calmant ever since the end of the Civil War. What are you fucking talking about? The only time where I think this argument makes sense here from fucking Ezra is during the 1950s, where essentially both the Democrats and the Republicans became essentially a uniparty and like effective stewards for trying to, well, stop the spread of fucking communism, but also overseeing the time of the greatest fucking experience of wealth and class mobility within human fucking history. That being with fucking Keynesian economics. And how is that done? Oh, by taxing the ever-living fuck out of the corporations and the rich.
Okay, what is some kind of de-escalation before you get to rupture look like? But the other is that there are a lot of people who live in places we used to win not that long ago. So I'm thinking about Obamacare. When Obamacare passes, there are Democratic senators in Arkansas, in Louisiana, in West Virginia, in Missouri, in Indiana, in North Carolina, in South Dakota, in North Dakota. And I've been thinking that I think for a lot of us, to twist the line about capitalism, it has become easier to imagine the end of the country than winning a Senate seat in Missouri or Arkansas. And I think that's a problem.
Yeah, so I think
I don't disagree with what Ezra is doing here, but that's that's a problem with the party. That's a problem with the Democratic establishment, broadly speaking. It is a problem with the fact that they have been wholeheartedly captured by corporate interests, Ezra. They're the main problem. And again, like, Ezra Klein he's never going to be the guy who ever brings that up in particular, because he wholeheartedly is also, well, completely fine with this fucking corporate capture of fucking politics. He doesn't have a problem with it. But he's willing to fucking appeal to a lot of the, well, to the particular political side who has helped catalyze the fact that, well, this is the current state of American politics.
I think a couple things about that. First of all, I just want to bring in the historical perspective. Not that long ago, I can remember when Obama won, and I believe you would remember this too. And there were all these pieces about the end of conservatism and the end of the Republican Party. You don't know how it's going to go. Nobody really. It doesn't mean you shouldn't think about how it's going to go.
Yeah.
But you really, no one really. I mean, again,
And in 2005, there were all these pieces about the end of the Democratic Party, right? Democrats had lost touch with the heartland.
Yeah.
Right? They were never going to get it back.
That's right. And so I think it's always like important to keep that in the background. Look, I have, just in terms of bridging gaps and everything.
Yeah, dude, I definitely agree with this. Like, listen, we all know the meme about we taught a chimpanzee what the fucking average voter believes, and it ended up fucking shooting itself. Like, that's more fucking prominent than ever. And I think the reason why this is the case is, and I think there's a material reason, there's a sociological reason for this, and it's to blame fucking Nixon. Going after fucking higher education, higher public education in the way that it was gone after, in particular by Nixon, by Reagan, and the Republican Party, this being wholeheartedly culminated by George W. Bush with, all the idiotic bullshit he did in particular with standardized testing, No Child Left Behind. The Republicans are the main people who have always been the main sort of sources of why undereducation and why critical thinking and why a lot of this stuff within America, I think, is broadly speaking dead, right? I don't think it's like ridiculous or hyperbolic to say that education is dead. Fucking critical thinking in America is dead. Like, people don't like fucking being like a Poindexter or being like intelligent. Intelligence and critical thinking is no longer fucking valued in America as much as like conservatives like to LARP and pretend that it is. That it's not true. Like, none of these people fucking believe in reality, for fuck's sake. Like, do you really want me to believe for even 1 fucking second, like 1 second, that these people value people who are fucking intelligent and bureaucratic fucking pencil pushers? Fuck no, they don't fucking like any of that shit. Get the fuck out of here with this complete utter nonsense. The problem is, due to policies like, No Child Left Behind, and also standardized testing, going after public university subsidies and all that fucking shit, the main issue that this has helped fucking catalyze is this sort of like, broader sort of like attacks on fucking politics that Ezra that has a very, very obvious fucking issue with. But again, he's not going to fucking address any of these issues. Like, I don't believe him for even a fucking second that he's going to fundamentally address the main root cause and the problems of this. And again, I've said this before, it's fucking conservatives that are the problems with this. Like, they're the ones who have created this fucking environment, Ezra. So, like, again, it's one of those things where I just sit there and I say, fucking spare me it, dude. Like, seriously. Like, people are sick and tired of all the bullshit and having to fucking constantly contend with the fact that all of these motherfuckers are incredibly fucking dishonest and do not fucking believe in reality. And a lot of it is a byproduct for the fact that, well, education within America is just fucking dead, dude.
I have a basic level of respect that I accord to everybody. You know what I mean? I want to say what I have to say. I don't want to shrink back from it. You know what I mean? But I do think on a basic level, there's a respect that has to be had for people that I disagree with, right? At the same time, I recognize that part of my audience, and I would say an important part of my audience, is people who have never enjoyed that respect. You know what I mean? People who, in fact, are subjects of the kind of hate that Charlie Kirk was harvesting. And I can't...
He's fucking... My man is hitting the fucking nail on the fucking head. Again, like, do you really expect people to want to give grace? I'm going to steal that fucking line from Sarah McBride, for fuck's sake. To give grace to people who do not fundamentally believe in their existence as a human being, Ezra? Like, seriously. Like, do you really want, like, Boy Meets Mindy, do you really want to give respect to people, to motherfuckers, who think that you should be treated as, like, a second-class fucking citizen who believes that you should not fucking exist? Like, do you really want to give that any grace to people like that? Probably not. Why should you? Like, fuck that bullshit. These are rights that people in America have fought and bled and died for. And you are wholeheartedly willing in order to do anything possible in order to fucking protect those exact same rights that are basically, going after them for basically the most idiotic conspiratorial fucking reasonings. Because again, these people, Ezra, do not believe in reality. They do not believe in anything whatsoever. You cannot find rapport with these people. But again, for Ezra Klein, instead of proposing the actual solution, and that is a broader, more sort of progressive fucking politics, he would much prefer and much rather talk about, like, He's like a dumbass fucking Abunda style fucking politics and bullshit, which people are not fucking. They've had it. Like, nobody wants fucking corporate politics anymore. That ship has sailed. People have had enough, and people are just done with the fucking tomfoolery and the fucking absolute buffoonery that has come with it. They have not received any of the benefits of it for the past 5 fucking decades. Again, wage productivity gap withstanding, as always. Like, people have had enough, and they're just not willing to fucking go along with it anymore. They've had enough. They just do not want it anymore.